So hey guys, new ban list update, and this is going to be implemented as of recording this uh, tomorrow, uh, December 5th. Well, this is what one might call an early Christmas, but real quick, before we really get into this, ultra rare, ultra rare, ultra rare, ultra rare, super rare, super rare. This card, probably one of is fine. I'm not sure about Nightmare Goblin. Let's see. If this card is link summoned during your turn, discard one card. If this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card also during your main phase. This turn, you normal summon one monster from your hand to use on this card. Point 2, in addition to your normal summon / set, you can only apply this effect. Once per turn, either player can target co-linked monsters you control with card effects. So this, I think, is fine as a one-of. Alright, Nightmare Mermaid. One Nightmare monster except for Nightmare Mermaid. If this card is link summoned, you can discard one card, special summon one Nightmare monster from your deck. Then if this card was co-linked when this effect was activated, you can draw one card. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Mermaid once per turn. Monsters on the field lose 1000 attack defense unless they are co-linked. So this, I think, could be a 2-of. Like, that's reasonable, I guess. So how about Masterpiece, the True Draco Slaying King? To tribute summon this card face up. Once per turn, once per turn. No hard once per turn on anything. But this is a tribute summon, so this requires your normal summon, I guess. Alright, and this, what type of interaction is this? Match one continuous spell trap from your graveyard, then target one other card on the field, destroy it. Destruction. So this could be a 2-of or 3-of, I guess. But since we have Dragonic Diagram, it's like a lot more dicey, I suppose. Knowledge for Draco and True King monsters on the field gain 300 attack defense. The first time each tribute summon True Draco or True King monster would be destroyed by ball each turn. It is not destroyed, so this has a protection effect. Once per turn, you can destroy one other card you control or in your hand, and if you do, add one True Draco or True King card from your deck to your hand. Is this optional? No, but this is only from battle, not from destruction effects. Okay. So if we wanted to get like all of the unbanned cards here, we might want like 2 of this. For this, we might want one of these is probably good enough. One of these. For this, I'm like not certain. It depends on the exact list you're playing. It can go up to 3, depending if you want to play Diagram or not, right? I suppose. And then Ib and Diagram don't matter as much because they're SR. But anyways, yeah. These are some cards that have been banned for, well, a long-ass time. And they're just getting unbanned now, so that's pretty neat, I guess. Haven't really mentioned that, but real quick, I'm not 100% sure what this card does. Alright, let's see. For this card, Synchro Summon, you can treat one World Chalice normal monster you control as a tuner. You can only use each of the following effects of the World Chalice Justicar once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can add one World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. If this Synchro Summon card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon one World Chalice monster from your deck or graveyard, except for the World Chalice Justicar. So this card is completely generic to make, but it's very awkward to make from what I can tell because it's a level 5 synchro. So just right off the bat, I have no idea how you're making this card like at all. Despite not necessarily needing a tuner, you would need to run a normal monster, the word World Chalice on it, which is just awkward if you're doing that. So not really certain how to deal with this. I do know that if we use Dingirsu can turn itself into a tuner, I guess. And then you also summon a level 1 token. So you would have tuner level 4, non-tuner 1. So real quick, I'm going to have to check Girsu, the Orcus Magnite, I guess. So what is the effect exactly that makes you turn into a tuner? So the effect says as follows. If this card is normal or special summon, you instead one Orcus or one World Legacy card from your deck to the graveyard. Then if there are 2 or more other cards in this card's column, treat this card as a tuner this turn. So that's only doable if your opponent controls the card pretty much. So I have no idea how you would do that and also have no monsters being controlled. So you would need to play something pretty damn goofy. And you would also need a set card in your back row, I think, to actually turn Girsu into a tuner. So yeah, it seems pretty hard to make this with the World Chalice cards. Maybe. Yeah, I really wouldn't want to be playing Unexpected Die with this. So, not a whole lot to say here about these guys. So, in terms of like crazy cards, I think right now, like Masterpiece, the true Draco Slaying King, this guy, probably not that annoying, honestly. So, if you have the field spell, this guy might be a little bit annoying to have, but like only moderately so. So the stat line is 2950, which is a bit lower than Aaron or Changing or any of those guys. And then of course we have like the Yubel cards. So yeah, this by itself not going to be that much of a game changer against Yubel, just honestly. And it can only be unaffected by either like monster spells or spells and traps or traps and monsters. So even assuming we do monster spell, which I think is a bit more common, we can easily out this because we just need a 3k guy. The one thing that's annoying here would be like if we just hard make Baron. So I don't know, let's just say we do Diabell Star plus Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, then we can't just immediately remove Masterpiece with the Baron because quick effect, pop Baron. Baron cannot negate that because it is unaffected by monsters. So that is a little bit annoying. But if we're looking at like Snake Eye, I'm pretty sure you have like a billion different cards that out this just randomly, right? So if you did not use spell, we have Subversion. If you did not use monsters, there's Flamberge, Promethean Princess, Zealantis, all of those guys. And even if you did use monsters or spells, we have the Raging Phoenix, and then we have Flamberge, which can both run over this, no problem. So yeah, that's not like exactly great. Well, I'll have to like see this in action because it's like moderately annoying just by itself, but I guess if you pair this with Floodgates, oh yeah, that might be, yeah, I can see that being a problem, right? And this is just unaffected by effects of cards with same card type, right? Yeah, so if it's immune to spells, it's going to be legitimately unaffected by spells. So if I drop it like a Dark Hole, it will not destroy my Masterpiece, but it will destroy your monster still. Unlike something like a Chaos Angel, where it's only unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, or something like that. So if you were to Zeus to wipe the board, you would also wipe out your Chaos Angel. That is not the case with Masterpiece. Requiring your normal summon, I guess this is like a potential new tool for stun. So when we think of it like that, I don't know if I can really look forward to this card being at 3, but alright, whatever. Hopefully it's just mostly played in True Draco. We'll see pretty soon. Because like immediately how I'm feeling is this card might be the first one to be back on the ban list, unironically. Alright. Nightmare Mermaid, if I recall the usage for this card specifically, is that you can link one this from any Nightmare monster, so we could use like a Nightmare Cerberus or Nightmare Phoenix, and then we can link that off into Nightmare Mermaid and use this effect to special summon the Orcus Nightmare, which is just like a one card that you can kind of do to go into like Orcus lines. So that's what that does, I'm pretty sure. I don't think it's that crazy now. It hasn't been that crazy for a long while. So Nightmare Goblin is probably one of the dicier ones. So this allows you to get an additional normal summon. Like, just not much else to say there. It does require you to discard a card, so it's not like that unfair, I suppose. So we can discard a card and we get an additional normal summon. And there are a lot of decks and potential to abuse this type of effect where you get an additional normal summon. So not much needs to really be said about this. You can even go like Nightmare Goblin into Mermaid, which is a thing, I guess. It's probably not going to be that insane now because, well, you know, if we already have 15 billion ways to like FTK, FTK number 15 billion and one probably don't matter because believe me, there are definitely ways to like FTK now, do degenerate things now, you know. So let's just put it this way: make a Soul Day via any one card Isolde combo of your choosing, and then we'll do a Isolde effect to add something, or maybe we don't if we're not feeling it. Then we'll send 4 equip spells, and perhaps we'll send a Bamboo Sword and the Phoenix Gear Blade thing, and then we'll probably be special summoning Armageddon Knight, because that sounds fun, I guess. And then we'll be going ahead here and dumping a Summoner Monk, and then we'll go ahead and somehow put a spellcaster onto the board. Then we'll make Celine. Hey, would you look at that? Because we sent all those spell cards, we have enough spell cards to trigger Celine effect, which is not hard once per turn. And then we'll summon the Summoner Monk, summon a guy, and then we'll rinse, repeat, and somehow we'll make like Yugioh. And then we'll also make Zealantis and Rescue Ferret and special summoning like Dark Doriado and stuff. And what do you know? All of a sudden you're getting hit by some degenerate FTK, and this can like branch off into like a billion different FTKs. Like whatever FTK you want, we can start it off with the Isolde here. And I mean, I'm not going through the exact line here, but the general idea, right? And of course, if we have Rescue Ferret plus Zealantis as well, we can essentially summon, like, as far as I'm concerned, 3 monsters from our deck and then trigger all of their effects. Epic. Great. And I guess the last card we have to kind of cover here is Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. Neither player can target this card with card effects. So you can't destroy this. And it's also untargetable, which is pretty decent, I guess. During your main phase, you can destroy 1 monster your opponent controls, and if you do inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's original attack, you can use this effect a number of times, return up to the number of normal monsters used as fusion material for this card. So if we have no normal monsters, of course, this amount would be 0. If we had 2, it would be 2 times. And this only destroys 1 monster, so if we use 2 normal monsters, we would be able to destroy 2 guys, alright? Once per turn, when a card or effect is activated, quick effect, you can discard 1 card to negate the activation. If you destroy that card, and if you do that, this card gains 1000 attack. So this is a Omni Negate, and this, what does this do? This negates activation, okay. But the cost is discarding 1 card. So honestly, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, just from the looks of it, kind of mad trash. So, alright, let's try to remember this. Diagram. Justicar. Masterpiece. Dark Dragoon. Nightmare Goblin. Nightmare Mermaid. Okay. So we're going to put these guys all up in the deck building, so this will be a little bit easier to see, I guess. So let's set this to unlimited, or we just show up with the ban list here, or show up with the forbidden cards here, whatever. Nightmare So this one, oh, doesn't allow us unless we do this, whatever. So this and this, are they craftable right now? Oh, they are. Okay. And then we have just a car. Well, we're struggling out here. Just Dishiar. Oh. And then we have Dragoon. Not generatable for whatever reason. And then we have the True Draco cards. So that would be Masterpiece and the Field Spell. Cool. So the thing about Dragoon is that to get the pop effect, we're going to need some guys. To do the Omni Negate every single turn, we have to discard a card. So let's look at it this way. So if I just do any way to one card out into Verte, we'll go like maybe, I don't know, something reasonable like Tour Guide, I suppose, is fine. So let's say we normal summon Tour Guide, and we'll just also special summon Tour Guide, I guess. And then we'll make Predaplant, Verte, and Akonda, and then we'll have to send Red Eyes Fusion, and then we'll need to send 2 guys for this. So let's see, Red Eyes Fusion. Which one of these is Red Eyes Fusion? This one. So we can activate Red Eyes Fusion, and we won't be like hit by this specific kind of lock effect here. And to summon the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, we need a Dark Magician plus a Red Eyes Black Dragon or a Dragon Effect monster. So at minimum, we'll need a Dark Magician, but let's assume we're going to be greedy first, and then we'll adjust from there. So we'll need a Dark Magician, and everyone pretty much has this Royal Dark Magician, I think. So we'll just grab this, and we'll grab Red Eyes, the vanilla one. Let's see. Should be here somewhere. Here. So we have Red Eyes Black Dragon and Red Eyes Fusion. So this specifically sends from where? Using monsters from your hand, deck, or field as fusion material, and if you do, its name becomes Red Eyes Black Dragon. So, like, one of the worst case scenarios, I guess, is if we open multiple pieces like this, then if we want to summon the Dragoon, we'll have to, like, activate Red Eyes Fusion, and then we go neg 1, 2, 3. And then if we do the negate on our opponent's turn, we're left with 1 card overall, and then we draw for next turn, and we just have 2 cards in hand. If we negate on that turn as well, we're left with 1 card in hand, and that's off of just summoning the Dragoon, right? But we'll have the 2 pops, I suppose. But let's assume we don't draw like all the garnets at once like that, because that's really the worst case scenario. If we draw the Red Eyes Fusion, we cannot make Verte to activate the Red Eyes Fusion, because this this effect here of Verte requires us to actually send the fusion spell from the deck to the graveyard. So if we ever open it and this is in hand, we can't summon by copying the effect of the Red Eyes Fusion, because it's going to be in hand and we won't be able to send it, and then we can't summon the Dragoon, and now we're just left with 1, 2, 3 kind of bricks that we're kind of just forced to live with, unless we're willing to give up our normal and special summon for that turn, which is pretty rough. And even then, if we summon the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, sure, you could say, yeah, any 2 effect monsters allow you to make like Dragoon. Hell, any 2 monsters allows you to make Dragoon, because, you know, Link Spider is a card that exists, so we could easily make Link Spider to then special summon the Verte, because Link Spider is in fact an effect monster and has the right arrows to allow you to set up the Verte, assuming we have like 2 tokens or something. So that kind of just works for this, and then we can summon the Dragoon. But also, the discard effect, the discard to activate the Omni Negate is pretty rough. The real annoying thing about this card is probably that it's a little bit annoying to out because it cannot be destroyed by card effects, and it's not targetable. But at the same time, how hard is this to out really now? So if we have a Baron could clash with this, that's about it. And this is not unaffected, so you could Baron Omni to counter the Omni on this thing, but you don't really need to because the effect of Pop is not quick effect. So if we just inherent summon a Baron, we can just immediately cash or destroy the Dark Dragoon by battle. So that's a thing, I guess. I suppose like Kaijuing's possible as well. It just I don't know, like what deck can really abuse Dragoon right now, because you're running these awful Garnets. So if we aren't running Red Eyes Black Dragon here, we're still running the Dark Magician, so we'd be at like 2 Garnets, I guess. Instead of the Red Eyes Black Dragon, we can instead run a copy of whatchamacallit? Magnuma. We can run Bistils, because Bistils are indeed dragons, and it's just any dragon, right? So we can have like Magma, Serenir, Lubellion, and we can just send whichever one suits us. So if we're playing Lubellion, I think that might be like the best one to send, potentially. And then we can do things with this later. Hell, if we make this pattern, we can summon back Dragoon on a later turn because it should be counted as properly fusion summoned, right? Yeah. Wait, you can cheat this out. Not that that really matters, I guess. Because this doesn't need to be fusion summoned. So, alright, I guess. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, I guess we'll have to see how this is played, but I mean, people already are just stop playing DP completely anyways, and yeah. Running these Garnets probably doesn't feel great either, and I never really liked the DP package because, you know, running all these Garnets in decks that already have like some kind of bad Garnets, like for example Unchained, it would feel pretty bad because, you know, with Unchained, we're kind of, well, what's the word I'm looking for here? Yes, we have like 3 dogs, which are all Garnets. So if we throw in like the absolute most bricky version of this, it's like 1, 2, 3. Now we have 6 really bad bricks in our deck. So yeah, wouldn't want to run that necessarily. And of course, like opening any of these is a neg1, and every time you activate Dark Dragoon is like neg1 just in general. Like some decks could benefit from the discard, honestly, like I guess Orcust, where if we put a Harp Horror, like an extra Harp Horror, I guess, into the graveyard, that's not really problematic. You kind of just chillin'. But for the most part, it's just miserable. And then for Nightmare Mermaid, this probably helps out Orcust. You will have to like kind of lab out like Nightmare Mermaid and Goblin now, because the old lines that you would use these guys for probably not as relevant anymore. Also, what the hell is this art? What is this thing? What's that on its face? Is there a 1 on this somewhere? Like, what is that marking on its face right there? The schnoz or something? Yeah, I don't get it. But yeah, Nightmare Goblin definitely enables some dumb things as well. So we'll have to look into that. There's just so much versatility that you can get with a Nightmare Goblin, only requiring 2 monsters with different names. So just for example, if we go to Snake Eye, because we'll just use Snake Eye as the example here. If we do the effect, of Flamberge and all that, we make Promethean Princess. So right before we make Promethean Princess is where we usually make IP, but instead of making IP, we can instead make Nightmare Goblin to get the normal summon here. And then we would be able to also do the effect to I guess normal summon just a guy later. And this pairs well with like maybe a Snake Eye Ash. So if there was a level 1 fire monster we want to specifically normal summon for some reason from our hand, we would be able to do so with the Nightmare Goblin here. I'm not sure what that would enable exactly, but you know, that would enable something that we couldn't do before. Is that like going to be something game breaking? I'm not 100% sure. Haven't really looked through everything, but there's a lot of ways you can kind of abuse this. But anyways, this doesn't really cost you much. We can then go like Promethean Princess, bring back whoever, make Link 4, and go on with our day, more or less, right? So yeah, for the time being, this is all I've got on all these cards that are coming back. The one I'm the most unsure of is if the World Chalice Justicar, because I am not very certain how in the world you make Synchro 5. Just not a thing I really can think of a good way to make. But I guess like in terms of level 1 tuners, there are like a couple. And the effect here to add a World Legacy card from your deck here, this requires a card in hand, or not card in hand, card to be in your deck, a specific World Legacy card. And that card is kind of a Garnet where you would want to add it with Ib for whatever reason, instead of just drawing it for turn or having it in your hand to begin with. So that's kind of like a brick. And then if the Synchro Summon card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon a World Chalice monster from your deck or graveyard. So this effect will be a little less bricky because we're able to send from the graveyard as well as from the deck, but we cannot summon from the hand. So that's 2 additional bricks if you're playing Ib. So I'm not like sure in what combo this would be useful for either. So this would need for, well, I would need to lab this out personally because I haven't really checked if anyone else has yet. But yeah, overall, aside from Nightmare Goblin and Nightmare Mermaid, I'm not super interested in any of the unbanned cards here, because this is probably going to be used in like stun. That's the feeling it gives me. And then we have Red Eye Stark Dragoon, which honestly just feels like a bad card. Like, doesn't feel like that intimidating to me personally. It just has the 1 Omni Negate that you can kind of work through. It is like moderately annoying, but you can run over it by battle, probably. I don't see an issue with that. And then we have Ib, which I don't, yeah, I just don't get, right? In terms of cards, I think like immediately still that should be banned. Like first, if we had to ban one of these guys again, this one terrifies me. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. And actually, now that I think about it, if I could play this card, that would be like nice to play against Stun, because it's kind of hard to stop your normal summons, except they also play Solemn Judgment and Solemn Strike and whatever other Solemn card they have. So yeah, never mind, I guess. So that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video, I guess. Bye.